Hello, happy Sunday. Well, it's Sunday for me, it's Monday for you. So I am really excited that we're on week 4 of our group coaching program and we've entered implementation week. And this week is about implementing everything that we've learned so far and doing that in conjunction with some shortcuts because I wanted to provide you with as many shortcuts as I possibly could. So the purpose of implementation week, and I will share a Facebook Live in the group, is basically so you can catch up. So you can implement everything that you've learned so far because not everything's going to work in a 6-week cycle. It's about us learning as much as we can. And this week, I'm offering each and every one of you in the group a chance for me to critique and review one part of your sales funnel. So when I say critique, it's very much about constructive feedback and actually making sure it works for you and your business. So send me across your packages, send me across how you plan on marketing your packages, send me across any questions that you have, absolutely everything that you're stuck in, and I will allow some one-to-one time to go through and to record some feedback. Now, I'll record the feedback rather than email you, and it will be a private recording sent to you via Facebook Messenger. And the reason that I'll record it is because I can get it done faster, so you'll get more value out of my recording. And what we basically want to make sure is you're 100% comfortable, or as close to 100%, because we're never going to be 100%. I want you to be as comfortable as you possibly can so that we can take action quite quickly. But let's forget about that for now. We can deal with that through the Facebook community. Let's look at today's coaching, and it's basically implementation made easy. And I'm really excited about this because everyone I come across and everyone I work with, when we first start working together, they're like, but I don't know what to say to my customers. I don't have that much to tell them. I'm not that interesting. And in actual fact, that's us operating from the old style of business where it's all about us. And today I'm going to provide you with lots of tips and tricks and headings so that we make it all about your customers, so that we make it all about your clients. And you're going to leave today with loads of content ideas. You're going to leave with email marketing ideas, and you're going to leave with Facebook post formulas. So the purpose of today's training is to provide you with tips and tricks to grow your business every single day. Now, I cannot tell you often enough that consistency trumps absolutely everything. We spoke about it last week when we talked about Facebook groups. Even if you don't look at what people are posting in Facebook groups, when you get a notification saying, Sarah has posted in the Facebook group, Sarah has updated this every single day, you think, wow, Sarah is committed, and that's what we're after, because eventually people will look as you connect with them, as you get to know them. And I want to inspire you to create engaging content that sells. And basically the way that we do that is to know our clients inside out and to make sure that we're as interesting as we possibly can. But I also know that it's really hard because not all of us have thousands and thousands of ideas in our head. I'm an ideas type of person, and even I get stuck quite a lot. So it's lovely to have resources like this to go back to keep me motivated and keep me going. So what will we cover today? We will cover email marketing, content creation made easy, capturing attention. That is so freaking key. There is nobody, and I mean even nobody, with the exception of my mother, there is nobody sitting waiting for your content to come out. My mother does, because she's my mother and she supports me through everything. But there's nobody sitting there saying, oh, I can't wait to get that email today. Most people are running around using their phone, really busy. So when you show up in their inbox or when you show up in their Facebook, you have to capture their attention. And the best way to capture their attention is to know them inside out. And we're also going to look at a Facebook post formula so we can make sure that your Facebook posts are really interesting as well. So when we look at my formulas, to say I live a busy life is an absolute understatement. It's now Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Yesterday we spent all day at a wedding in Kirkcaldy. I had a coaching client this morning, then I had a baby shower with some of my friends, then I had to go and do the food shopping, and now I'm literally just back and I need to not only finalize this content and make sure it's as amazing as it possibly can be, but I also have other work to do for my one-to-one clients. So it goes without saying that all of us operate in a really busy world. We really, really do, but we need to make our lives easier. And this training is designed to show you how, and especially around content marketing, email marketing, and how you communicate with your clients. And these ideas can be used for everything, not just for email marketing. They can also be used for Facebook videos, Facebook Lives, all of these sorts of things that you want to communicate with your customers. So why do I recommend email marketing? Well, there's quite a few reasons. And the first and foremost is that it's more effective than social media. Now, it's more effective than social media from a customer acquisition perspective. And what that basically means is from you taking on board that customer and you owning that customer journey. Social media is always going to be owned by the social media giants. We all know that Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook, and he decides and his team decide what changes are going to be made. We don't get an email asking us how we feel about it. We're not consulted. They make those decisions very much based on the business decisions that they have to make. So we need a backup plan. On all of our activities that we do on Facebook, what we really want to do is get them off Facebook and onto our email marketing as quickly as we possibly can. And we can do that through what's known as an opt-in. Now, I'm going to take you through an opt-in when it comes to selling next week, because an opt-in is very much part of a sales conversation that we have with our clients. But when it comes to email marketing, what we need to know is the aim of the game is always to get their email address. Because once we have their email address, we have permission to communicate directly into their inbox. And don't get your backups and don't turn around and say, they don't want to hear from me. They don't want to know what I'm saying. I cannot possibly provide that much content. Yes, you can. They're your horrible mind monkeys talking and your inner saboteur. I'm going to give you loads of tips and tricks today. But what you have to remember is old business talks about you, new business talks about what the consumer wants to know about you, and that's what we're going to do. Email marketing is economic and cost effective. For the most part, I spend very little on my email marketing. Now I have a budget there to increase that, but you could run a very successful email marketing campaign with zero spend. I would recommend that we invest in it over time if you don't have the budget available straight away, but it's very economic and cost effective. It's very personal and it's customizable. MailChimp means that you can have people's names. MailChimp means that I can send an email direct to Joe. I can send an email direct to Ash. I can send an email direct to Gemma, to all of the fantastic members in my group, and it would have your name on it. I can also make it look like it's a personal email that's coming in. So if I was sending an email to Alison, I can make it look really, really personal. If I send an email to Laura, I could make it look really, really personal. It's action orientated. So basically what it does is it can encourage people to take action. And as we know, when we look at the 10 non-negotiable rules of marketing, we always want to tell people what to do next. And having an email with the end of it with a strong call to action, if you would like to sign up for a free consultation with myself, please click on this link here where you will be asked to provide dates and times that work best for you. The conversation will last 30 minutes, and during that time we will discuss X, Y, and Z. It's action orientated. It encourages people to take action. You can measure email marketing, and you can measure both the number of people that open your emails, and then you can measure from there the number of people that click onto any links. So the number of people that take that action. So if you need to tweak any words, if you need to tweak what you're saying, it's really, really easy for you to do that. And mobile devices allow people to access their email constantly. So I don't know about you, but in my personal email account, I think I've said this before, I've got in excess of 30,000 emails. I'm constantly on the go. I'm constantly checking my emails. I've got about 4 different email accounts. Always looking, always opening, always reading, always responding. And that's the majority of people. Again, they're not sitting waiting for your email to come in. What they are doing is they're going about their business and your email is allowed into their inbox. So you have to make sure that it captures their attention and it's what they want to receive. You don't want to bore them and you don't want to overwhelm them, but we'll talk you through options on how to do that. Okay, how to start email marketing. I'm going to share another video on MailChimp. And the reason the video is not for me is because I'm not an expert on MailChimp. I use MailChimp for me. So I'm going to share you a video on how to get started on MailChimp, how to get set up, and it's up to yourself if you don't already do that to use MailChimp. Now, I use MailChimp because I find it the easiest to use. It's very user-friendly. It removes all of the jargon, but you may want to use Aweber or other technologies as well. You use whatever works best for you. I'm just going to share MailChimp because it works really well for me. Okay, so you just use what works well for you. So, what on earth do I share in my emails? So you're sitting there and you think, okay, I'm going to networking events. I've got people in my Facebook group and I'm going to offer them a cool freebie. I'm collecting business cards everywhere I go. I've got a list of people that have come to my shop. I've got a list of people that have come to my perfume masterclasses. I've got a list of people that I've sold to in the past. What the hell do I share in my emails? How do I make it so that they really want to open it? Now, I'm going to go through 30 plus amazing content ideas, but the basics, the fundamentals that you have to stick by is that the content has to be relevant to them. So first and foremost, this is not about you. And I know I say that all of the time and I sound hormonal and I don't mean to, but what I mean to say is this is about your clients. Everything that we do is about you now building relationships with them. We looked at your sales funnel last week and how you were going to market to people. And now what we really, really want to do is just make it all about them, make them feel special, make them feel valued. We want to entertain them as far as we possibly can, but entertain them in line with your message. We want to entertain them in line with what you do best. You know, who you are as a business person, what you stand for. We want to have a strong call to action. So we always want to tell them what to do next. And this can be a PS at the bottom of an email. It can be a link to buy something that's on offer. It could be a sign up for my new yoga classes. It could be a sign up for my next perfume workshop, sign up for my next wedding fair. It could be a sign up for my next cocktail and connections. It can be all of these things, but you will have a really, really strong call to action, i.e. you will tell them exactly what you want them to do next. And if you're providing amazing content and the majority of your email is shit hot, I'm going to make this fantastic, it's totally relevant to you content, you're allowed to tell them exactly what you want them to do next. It's not like you're vomiting, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me all over your email. You're providing amazing content, you're being really, really genuine, you're being a good guy, you're showing them that you understand them, and then either at the end of the email, somewhere in the middle, wherever it suits best for you, you're just telling them what the next steps are. You are allowed to do that. And actually, it's what clients want, because if you're connecting with them and you really know them and you are genuinely answering a question, they really want you to do this. Now, when I say what on earth do I share in my emails, I actually mean what do you share in your videos as well. So content that's relevant to them. Entertain them as far as you possibly can. And actually at the end of your videos on Facebook or your videos on Facebook Live, tell them exactly what you want them to do next and we can crack on from there. So let's get moving to your amazing content ideas. Now, when I go through these ideas, I will kind of tailor it to the businesses that have been the most active in the group. As this is implementation week, if you've got any questions about how you can implement this content into your specific business, post that in the group and we'll all go through it together. But basically, these are just ideas. So when you're sitting at home or in your office or in Starbucks or wherever the case may be, and you want to create some Facebook posts, you want to create some Facebook videos, you want to create some emails, and you're not sure where to start, why not start here? Why not go through these 30 plus amazing content ideas and see which one suits you? And actually, what I'd really recommend is that you create a bank of content ideas. Again, we live in a really, really busy world. If you've got 10 or 15 pre-created emails, and turn those emails into videos, turn those emails into Facebook Lives, but write out those emails. Write them all out. The spelling doesn't have to be perfect. God knows mine never is. You can fix all those things at a later date, but what they always say is type drunk and edit sober. So just type like you've had a bottle of Prosecco and you really, really enjoyed it, and then you can edit it. So let's get cracking into these content ideas. So the first one is what you really want people to understand about your thing is. So maybe you could write an email or a blog post or a video about what it is that you want people to understand about what you do. So why is it that cocktail infused cupcakes are so fantastic? Why is it that your bespoke jewellery is so fantastic? What do you want people to understand? Why did you get into creating bespoke wedding jewellery? Why did you get into becoming a yoga instructor? Why did you get into becoming a network marketing professional? Why did you get into becoming a fantastic corporate masseuse or a trainer for people working in the business world or a Reiki specialist? So how has what you do or what you believe in changed your own life? How has yoga changed your life? How has Reiki changed your life? How has providing the best possible service to brides through flowers, through perfume classes, through cupcakes, through amazing jewellery, how has providing fantastic services to people who run their own business as a virtual assistant, how has that changed your life? How has what you do or believe in changed the life of your clients? So can you tell me some testimonials here? Can you tell me a story about one of your clients and how fantastic they feel after they've bought what you offer? What's happening in your industry that infuriates you? There's bound to be something that's pissing you off. And there's bound to be something in your industry, depending on the market sophistication, that your clients already know about. So for someone like Beata, maybe you want to do what's happening in your industry that infuriates you is that actually people think that what you do is very woo. People think it's only for people who love feng shui and a certain way of doing things, where actually it's really, really important for everyone that they have a clear and clutter-free home. You know, when it's the yoga industry, is there anything that pisses you off? What's happening in your industry that you absolutely love? Is there anything in your industry that makes you say, oh my God, I love that? The fact that bespoke jewellery for someone on their wedding day means they've got something that they can remember forever. It means they jump out of this corporate gift. It means that they feel absolutely fantastic knowing that every single part of their wedding is absolutely totally them. What are the core values that you stand for as an entrepreneur? We've discussed values in week 2. How would you explain what you do to a 5-year-old and without the jargon? Now, for an example for this one, I did an email about when my niece asked me what I did. It was a total genuine email. My niece is 3.5, and I talked about what I did with her. And it's actually about not using phrases that you drop in the industry, you know. So I create perfume masterclasses. So I just actually help people pick a scent that they feel fantastic in. How do you manage your thing while raising kids, working 2 jobs, being a fantastic partner, traveling the world, leading a busy lifestyle, all of these things. So if you, for example, Joe, if your ideal client is working really hard, doesn't always have time for exercise, maybe you can actually talk about how you manage to fit yoga in while you're really, really busy. What would you teach your kids about what you do? How would you show them that the way you run your business is really good? How has what you do made you a better business owner? How has having a clutter-free home made you a better business owner? How has being a network marketing professional and taking all of these amazing products, being on the top of your game, how has that made you a better business owner? Now, not all of these are going to be applicable to you, but I want you to look at them, change some words around, change some things around, and actually get some content ideas and actually just jot them down. You don't have to share them straight away, but get them written out, because this is about being you, and these are designed, again, I'll say it again this week, to mine your brain and to make you feel fantastic. So, how your business can instantly increase someone's health, happiness, bank balance, enjoyment, well-being. So if I was running yoga classes, I would talk about it. Running perfume classes, I would talk about how instantly afterwards you feel fantastic. There's all of these areas that could potentially be improved just by what you sell. If it's a case that you provide the corporate massage gym, and maybe you want to talk about how within an office you're going to feel fantastic. Reiki, Stacey, your Reiki, how are they going to make people feel amazing? How to do what you do without hiring someone to do it. So how can you do yoga from home? How can you create your own perfume? How can you create your own scents using what's in the house? How can you make your own cupcakes? How can you clear your own closet? Because actually, sometimes they might want to try it themselves, but it doesn't mean they're going to do it. Like, I would still make a pizza myself at home. It doesn't mean I'm not going to go out for a pizza. I would fake tan myself at home. It doesn't mean that on a special occasion I'm not going to pay for a fake tan. It's the same with my nails. Actually, funny story. I painted my toenails last night. I have more nail varnish on my feet than I do on my nails. So actually, as a result of that, I'm off to get a pedicure. So actually, sometimes by doing it yourself at home, you realize how ghastly you are. Especially when my legs are going every which way because I've got such a big baby bump in the way. But it's actually a good way of showing that sometimes by not hiring someone to do it, you realize how much work is involved, but you're the good guy by telling them how they can do it. A story from the early days of your business, the early days of learning your craft. So was there a bakery disaster? Was there a massage disaster? Was there a decluttering disaster? Was there a disaster the first time you took products or tried to sell products, etc.? Your first experience of working with a client. So your first experience selling products to a customer. What did you learn? Do you do things differently now? Why or why not? I would tell people my first sales experience when I was a freaking disaster and I totally oversold. I reduced the prices and I gave them absolutely shitloads, and it was the greatest nightmare of my life, and I still don't think that person will ever forgive me. I'm at peace with it myself, but it's actually about bearing that in mind. And what gives your product or service the X factor? Why are you different? What makes what you do different to everyone else? And hopefully you'll know from your competitors and by signing up to email newsletters from other people in your industry what makes you different. And the tricks and tools that you use to make what you do more effective. So maybe it's a certain type of moisturizer you use. Maybe it's a certain type of scent that you use. Something that you use to make you better at what you do, and something that your consumer might want to use as well. What are people being led to believe that simply isn't true? Okay, so if I'm a network marketer, perhaps people have been led to believe that the scripted life of working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 for another boss is the right way, when we as entrepreneurs know that that's bullshit. Beata, people are being led to believe that they are happier if they have more shit in their closet. They're been told that they're happier if they buy more. We're constantly bombarded with adverts saying buy more, buy more. Alison, it could be that we're being led to believe that we have to spend £70 on a perfume to smell like a celebrity, when actually we could create our own signature scent in line with who we are as humans, our passion, our vibrancy. Joe, it could be anything to do with, yoga. We're being led to believe that our breathing isn't important, and actually going on a crash diet is better for our health than actually taking care of our posture. Alison, Ashley and Stacey, there's loads of examples for yours as well, but just think, what are we being led to believe that simply is not true? And obviously the same for you, Louise. Maybe it's that in business we have to do everything ourselves, when that's absolute bullshit. In business we have to focus on the key tasks that we can do better than anyone else. So what are the real reasons that people aren't getting the results they need when it comes to your area of expertise? Now, this could be anything. So what are the real reasons people aren't getting the right jewellery for their wedding? What are the real reasons that people aren't selling enough? What are the real reasons that people aren't getting that toned, sculpted body? What are the real reasons why people aren't relaxing enough and de-stressed enough? Tell the people the truth, because sometimes people won't get results from working with you. Sometimes things won't be quite right. I tell everyone, I can give you the understanding of sales and marketing. I can give you a really, really fantastic fundamental understanding, but it's up to you to implement that and to take consistent action every single day. And if you don't do that, there is very, very little that I can do. And you have to be open and honest, because you're not responsible for someone else's results. You facilitate those results. So that could be a Facebook video. That could be an email. Why did you start your business in the first place? So maybe you want to give a wee bit of background. Be honest. You probably wanted to help people create a better life for you and your family, but ultimately there's selfish reasons too. Maybe you just wanted to wake up every day and decide what you're going to do. Maybe you want to pack your bags and go on holiday whenever you feel like it. Maybe you're just fed up with people doing it at a really poor standard and you were like, hell no, I'm way better than this, I'm going to do it. Whatever the real reason is, be honest, because this is about you connecting with your clients as opposed to you trying to be someone else. So halfway there for ideas. So you can see we've got absolutely shed loads of ideas here. So let's ask, what massive obstacles have you overcome in your business, in starting your business? There could have been a disaster the first time you did a corporate massage. There could be a disaster the first time you worked for a client. Maybe it was a complaint that you received. Maybe it was somebody that returned products. Whatever it was, talk about that obstacle. What common questions are you asked by potential customers about what you do? Now, I'd use this one quite sparingly, but when you do one-to-one calls, when you sit down and you talk to people, chances are you get a lot of common questions. Maybe you want to pop those into a blog or a Facebook video or an email. And maybe there are things that your prospects and clients aren't asking that they totally should be. So maybe you think, oh, I notice I don't get asked this question, but it comes up later on. Or I notice I don't get asked this question, but it holds people back. So maybe I'm going to discuss it. What are the foundations of success that your audience are entirely skipping? In my case, as a sales and business strategist, the foundations are that people need the understanding themselves. And that first and foremost, you are a business person, you are a sales person, and secondary to that, you are a sales and business person in this key area. So that's what I help people understand. Why is the accepted way of doing things sabotaging your clients' chances of success? Or why is the accepted way of doing things just not right? So maybe the accepted way of, going to work, getting a 9 to 5, it's just not right. Maybe the accepted way of eating what you want, getting limited exercise, it's just not right. Think about it. What's your working style? What kind of relationship do you have with your clients? So I will be totally honest with you, my working style is really flexible and laid back. I like to get to know my clients really well. I like to find out what their dreams are, what their aims are, because I know that's what's going to motivate them. But I'm also supportive, but don't take any bullshit, because I think that's what people are paying me for. So that's ultimately what you need to decide. What's your relationship like with clients? And every business has a different relationship, from those that provide services to those that provide products. For example, I was in Pizza Express as part of my baby shower today. They come over, they take your order. The service is really good. But if I'd have gone to somewhere like Nando's, their approach is really different. I wouldn't go to Nando's, they don't have veggie options. But if you're going to Nando's, you have to walk to the counter. And I don't like that. I think when you're sitting down in a restaurant, I prefer to have somebody serve me and then go up and serve myself. So it's, what is your approach when you're working with clients? And what kind of people do you not want to work with and why? And be totally honest. You do not want to work with people that are not motivated to grow their own business. You do not want to work with people that do not want to provide the best possible care for their employees. You do not want to work with people who do not want to de-stress, to make their life better. You do not want to work with people who aren't after that bespoke gift, who aren't after something different. If you're after something everyone else has, I'm not the right person for you. What kind of person is just not ready to work with you right now? But maybe they will be in the future. And what should they do instead? So somebody might come around for you, Ash, and they might be, oh, do you know what? I really like this idea of running my own network marketing business, but I'm not quite sure. So you need to give them some tips and tricks and tell them what they could do now until they are ready. Is there a time when you have struggled with a thing that you now excel with? And describe your journey. So maybe there's a time when you were unfit and you became fit. There's a time you had a really cluttered cupboard, you were really stressed out, and now you embrace declutteredness. There was a time when you were stressed out and you discovered Reiki, and now you feel absolutely incredible all of the time. There was a time when actually I didn't have these amazing tools and tips to run my business, but now I help other businesses implement them as a virtual assistant. How and when did you realize your gifts, your talents, your expertise? When did you realize you were a fantastic baker? When did you realize you could make this amazing perfume? When did you realize you could make these amazing things? And actually describe the journey that you went through. Maybe for some of us, it wasn't like this bright star that shone that said you have a talent. Maybe you just got fed up with the status quo and you decided yourself that you had to change things. Whatever it is, there's potential content ideas. Last page of content ideas, guys. But remember, this is about taking the ideas and thinking what works for me and actually getting that inspiration and putting these in your own words. So you don't have to do as I say, but what you do have to do is create some shit hot content to connect with your clients. What are your clients saying right now about working with you? Gather testimonials. If people leave reviews, take screenshots. If people say nice comments, when people say nice comments about my work in the group, I take screenshots because I want to stay motivated and I want to share those things with other people in the future. So with the testimonials, I think if you want some examples on testimonials, we will go through that in the sales next week. But when it comes to testimonials, we'll give you a step-by-step process. What results are your clients creating? Are there any unexpected benefits or positive side effects? So when you did your transformations, you listed out all of the ways that you felt people would benefit. Are they getting anything that you're like, oh, that's a bit strange. I didn't see that one coming. Wow, I want to talk about this. Are there anything you didn't expect that they were quite shocked about? Now, the only way you're going to know is if you ask, but definitely start writing about that. What's the biggest breakthrough you see in your clients time and time and time again? What's the most common breakthrough that you're seeing them experience and how you can help them? And maybe it's when they see that breakthrough and what's the journey towards them seeing that breakthrough, because sometimes it might be a freaking rough journey. If we're changing our health, if we're changing our life, it might be a different journey. For those of us that sell products, especially, we've got a lot of people that deal with weddings, obviously through our jewelry, through our cupcakes, through our perfume masterclasses, through our florists. And maybe the breakthrough is just that feeling on their wedding day that they're absolutely fantastic and they cannot believe how amazing they feel. And it's maybe the breakthrough is the tears. At the altar, we were at a wedding yesterday and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. The bride looked absolutely stunning. The flowers were amazing. The jewelry was amazing. There was a story behind absolutely everything. So, maybe you want to tell some of those stories and talk about, why people chose those flowers, why people chose that scent, why people chose that jewelry. Talk about the story behind, because that's what people will really, really connect with. What do people need to do daily to get the results with your work? So for network marketers, what do you need to do daily? For sales, what do you need to do daily? For massage, for yoga, for health and fitness, for creating amazing systems, for keeping your property clean after you've decluttered it, what do you need to do daily? For your mindset, for obviously Nicholas Success Coach, what do you need to do? If you had to... What are your clients talking about right now? What's going on in their world? How can you enter this conversation and take a stand, lead the way? Here's an example. I was scrolling through Facebook and somebody said, oh, I cannot wait to watch Game of Thrones and see what all the fuss is about. So maybe you could do an article saying why running your business is like watching Game of Thrones 6 months after everyone else, or why running your business is like starting on season 1 Game of Thrones when everyone else is on season 5. You can tie into that conversation and see what's happening. Other conversations that I know are going on quite a lot right now is about kids going back to school, people getting a break, all of these things. If you had to start all over again, what would you do differently in terms of your thing or your business or your expertise? I know what I would do differently. If I had to start all over again, I would take the pressure off. I would stop thinking I needed to become a salesperson and actually just think that I needed to understand people and help people, because I know my business would have moved along a lot quicker. I'm glad I made those mistakes, but again, if I was starting again. Describe a time a client has not gotten results from working with you, and be refreshingly honest. There might be sometimes it didn't work out, and just tell the truth and actually tell them why. 9 times out of 10 it won't be because of you, it'll be because of something we've discussed earlier. They're not quite the right fit, they're not taking consistent action, they weren't the right customers for you. But it helps you remind people who are the right customers that you want to work with. What are your customers saying or doing that you wholeheartedly disagree with? Maybe they're selling a particular type of product, maybe they're selling a particular type of approach, maybe it's a particular type of makeup artistry, maybe they think you put the mascara on one way and they do it another way, but you don't agree with that, so you're going to be honest. And then last but not least, what does a day in your life look like? Tell me about your life. Tell me about what you do. Tell me about a day in your amazing, fantastic life. So there we go. We've got 30 plus amazing content ideas, and I think the purpose of these is not that you have to follow a set format. It's not that you have to do it a set way, but it's actually just to mine your brain, get your creative juices flowing, and actually create content that you know your clients are going to be really, really keen on. If there's some phrases in there that don't quite appeal to your business, change them. You do not have to follow a set plan, but you do have to create this freaking content, and you have to create it quickly, because we want you to build on your momentum. This is implementation week. You have to put everything into action, and we want you to do that as quickly as you possibly can. Now, here's another foolproof way to always having amazing content, and I do this quite a lot, So you might want to take an everyday occurrence, You might want to take an everyday occurrence, or you might want to take something special, or you might want to take a special occurrence, and you're going to extract a lesson from it. You're going to make that lesson relevant to your audience, and you're going to tell the story. And you're going to tell the story in email, you're going to tell the story in blog, or you're going to tell the story in video, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to give you an example of one that I have just done for the Boss Babe blog, which I think I've just been accepted to. So we were at a wedding yesterday, and the wedding was absolutely beautiful. Lovely country setting, gorgeous cottage, a humanist wedding outside. It was absolutely beautiful. The groom had been married before, so his kids there, his teenage kids were there with his new wife. And what was absolutely stunning was how they involved everyone in this wedding. And they spoke about their love for each other. She spoke about her love and admiration for his kids, and how fantastic his kids were, and how they inspired her and they made her a better person. And he spoke about how having her come into his life made him a better parent. And it was just full of warmth, it was full of positivity, it was full of just amazing plans for the future, and you couldn't help but to cry. It was just incredible, and it was their perfect day. And when you go to a beautiful wedding and the bride comes down and she looks fantastic, you do what you always do at weddings, and you think, what would my wedding be like? What would my wedding be like? And actually, I have written a blog on the fact that I probably won't get married. Even though I found the man of my dreams and I absolutely love him, even though we're pregnant and we're going to have our first baby within the next month, even though all of these things, I probably won't get married, because right now, I may change my mind, but right now I don't believe in a scripted life. Right now, I don't believe that you have to follow a set plan to be happy. It is beautiful for them, and I totally loved their wedding, and it was the best day ever. It was a privilege to be invited. But for me, I want to create a business and a life of my dreams right now, and the wedding just doesn't come into it. The marriage does, and the relationship does, but that wedding day does not come into it. So for me, the lesson that I've extracted from it is that it's absolutely okay to go against the grain. And how that is relevant to my audience is that most of my audience feel like they have to have a certain job, like that they have to have a certain income. They have to contribute a certain amount to the family income. They have to do certain things, they have to work in a certain way. And the truth is that you don't. The truth is that you just have to create a life that you're happy with. The truth is that you just have to create a life that you're comfortable with. And that life might involve you traveling the world. That life might involve you running a safari in Zimbabwe, like I know Ash. That's on Ash's goal list. So that life might be amazing. It might be taking your kids on the holiday of their dreams, whatever the case may be. So this scripted life that people think we have to lead, it's not. So do you see how I extracted a lesson? And in that Facebook post, I can share a photo of me and my fiance looking really happy. In the Boss Babe blog, I can share a photo of me and my fiance looking really happy, all dressed up, together, having an amazing time, and tell a story about how we're not defined by a wedding. We totally loved being at that wedding yesterday, and it just reminded us of how beautiful it was for our friends. But right now, it's not quite right for us. And I think, again, start to look at what's going on around you. Is it that you're late for a bus and you realise that actually sometimes you don't want to stress over the little things? Is it that you've been shortchanged in a shop? Is it that you go in to buy dinner and you realise actually it's a wee bit more expensive than you first thought? So rather than panic, you're going to commit to earning that money. Whatever the case may be, is it that you went into a supermarket or you went into Boots to buy a really nice smelly spray and you realised they all smelled horrendous and you didn't want anything plastic anymore, you wanted something bespoke? Is it that you've got a wardrobe that matches your personality and you realise that actually you want some jewellery that matches your personality as well? Whatever the case may be, get those lessons. They could be everyday occurrences, they could be something special. Extract a lesson from it, make sure that lesson is relevant to your audience, and tell the story. And just tell the story in your way. So I've got some examples for email examples and just things that you can say as email titles, because we're going to come on to some headlines right now. So maybe you want to say they're wrong. And again, it's much like some of the earlier content. If I log into my email and I'm in a rush and I see an email title that says they're wrong, I'm going to open it up. They're lying to you. Why are they lying to me? Maybe instead of a motivational Monday, you want to have an anti-motivational Monday because you're fed up with people thinking that every Monday you're going to change who you are. Maybe you share a question from Joanne or an email from Fiona. Maybe you entitle an email, I'm fat and exhausted, and you tell a time about how you felt that way. Maybe you entitle an email that says bye, B-Y-E. You could do B-U-Y as well, but I don't know if it would have the same effect. And you say, I'm inviting you to unsubscribe. If you're not happy with the content, I'm inviting you to unsubscribe. And then if people do, that's brilliant because you get rid of the people you don't want to be dealing with. And then the next day you could have an offer. Maybe it's bad news, and the bad news could be that you've only got limited stock available. You've got limited availability in your diary to take on new clients. What happened to Nicola? Maybe I want to tell a story about Nicola's journey or Jennifer's wedding disaster. And maybe Jennifer had a disaster in that she bought a wedding ring that didn't fit her, or she dealt with the wrong cake maker, something like that. You can tell a story and create it. So these are some examples of some email headers. And I'm going to tell you how to create some excellent email headlines, and then I'm going to give you some examples. So some examples for excellent email headings is the end result plus the time period, and then you address the objection. So do you want to grow your business in 6 weeks? Yes, of course I do. Without becoming someone else. Yeah. Do you want to drop 7 pounds in 7 weeks without starving yourself or without consuming only lettuce? And then another email headline is do this plus the time period and result. Can you really share new content with your audience for just 4 weeks and attract a new client? Can you really exercise for 15 minutes a day for just a month and tone your bum? Do you see what I mean? Can you really create the signature scent of your dreams in just 4 hours and leave with the signature scent? That one got a bit wasted on me, but you know what I mean. So our next slide is looking at emails and sales page headlines. So this is actually those email headers that we're going to put in to attract attention and encourage people to open your emails. Because top tips is not fucking allowed. If anybody sends me an email that says top tips, I will hunt you down. I swear to you. It is boring. Nobody wants to read top tips. Top tips are too vague. Top tips for painting your house. No. Top tips for changing your tyre. Okay, it's a rainy night. You're driving through the middle of nowhere and you get a puncture. And all of a sudden you check your emails. Which email are you going to open first? Top tips for changing the tyre on your car. Or how to change the tyre in 5 simple steps. Or how to change your tyre in the rain with a screaming child in the car. Which do you think you're going to align yourself more with? The one that's really specific. The one that speaks directly to you. And here are some examples which I'm going to go through. The one big mistake that even smart or experienced make. The real truth about fill in the blank. How to use the ancient secrets of blank to blank. Why the so-called gurus and experts are wrong when they say blank. How a simple tweak with your blank can result in blank. The one big secret of blank. How to spot misleading or inaccurate blank. Why following the fashionable but stupid advice about blank will blank. Shocking confessions of blank. Embarrassing confessions of blank. The real reason why blank. The insider secrets of blank. How to create your own blank without blank. Why most blank get it completely wrong when they blank. How to instantly eliminate blank. Detailed strategies for blank. So even just looking at this, I'm getting some ideas. And I'm thinking if I deal with brides or if I deal with people weddings, yeah? Shocking confessions of a bride before the wedding. You know, the real reason why your mother-in-law keeps muscling in on your wedding day. Yeah, why most brides get it completely wrong when they try to cut back on this. You know, and let them then open the email to find out. So, secret 2-minute tactics that will blank. And then that's all it really takes. Secret 2-minute tactics that will transform your bum into this amazing, pert, wonderful thing. And that's really all it takes. Why it's vital that you blank. The biggest, yes, easiest secret of blank. An underground but entirely ethical way to blank. The best kept blank secret of blank. The demystifying truth about blank. Key strategies for finding blank. Clear and straightforward advice that will instantly blank. Why it makes more sense to blank than blank. How to get rid of blank fast. Why so many smart blank fail miserably with blank. The secret hack that lets you blank. The magic bullet that lets you blank. The only time you should ever blank. Quick fixes that will instantly blank. The transformative, life-changing secrets of blank. Real world examples of blank. How to make yourself blank proof. 4 ways to tell if your blank is about to fail. How to quickly smash it with blank. I am getting bored with myself saying blank right now, so I'm just going to move through these ones quite quickly because you can see them. The fastest known way to everything that you need to. How to do blank on your own and do it way better than anyone could ever hire you to. Super simple tactics too. The wildly effective strategy to blank that the gurus don't want you to know. The often ignored foundation of blank that makes everything else work like magic. 10 proven ways to. 8 ways to take advantage of the new laws of, or the new ways of. How to clean up with and leave your competitors wondering what your secret is. Low tech ways to. A 10-second exercise that will. How to break through the barriers of. How to generate results with blank even though. how to generate results with yoga even though you only have 5 minutes a day. A weird but effective way to. How some tiny tweaks with your ingredients will result in the most amazing cupcakes. How to kill it with so that you can. The secret of blank that almost nobody in your industry understands. The special place to find amazing trinkets for your wedding. Give them a hidden shop, give them something that's thrown away. Breakthrough solutions for. So these are just examples, and you're going to fill in the blanks. You're going to blank. You're going to find a way of filling this in and saying, okay, what can I add here? What's going to work? What's going to be amazing? How can I make this email headline work really well? But then I know what you're saying. What if I don't have email just yet? But you're going to start email and you're going to start it quickly. But what if right now I'm doing Facebook posts and I want to know how to make my Facebook posts really good? Well, the content ideas that we looked at earlier will apply to this. And you can use those headings that we looked at, you can use these blanks to have a headline for your Facebook post. That's absolutely fine, because the first thing that we want in our Facebook post formula is a really strong hook or a headline, you know? So let's discuss those tactics. Let's discuss those amazing things that hook in the audience. If you're writing a Facebook post, why will your audience care? Because I can categorically guarantee you, when people jump into various Facebook groups and they just drop bombs, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, your audience doesn't care. Why will your audience care? What value you're going to add through your relevant post. Are you unapologetic in your tone and stance? Don't be wishy-washy. Don't underplay your Facebook post because you're afraid of offending someone. The more people you offend, and I don't mean brutally offend, I mean the more people that disagree with what you stand for, the more people that are likely to passionately agree with what you want. Are you speaking only to your ideal client? So when you're writing that Facebook post, you're only speaking to one person and you're really, really trying to help them. Have you made that post easy on the eye? Does it look nice? I know Nicola likes to use lovely love hearts in her Facebook posts and they always look so pretty. Have you cut out any waffle? People don't have time for padding. Don't pad out Facebook posts with muck. Sorry. Is it clear from the post what your area of expertise is and what you do? What are you the expert in? Make that clear in your Facebook post. And have you included an attention-grabbing image? And we'll come on to Canva momentarily and how that can help. Well, actually in the next training. And where possible, have you included a strong call to action? Is it crystal clear what people should do next? And does it address and solve a problem? And can you include scarcity? So we gave the examples last week in the 10 non-negotiable rules of marketing, that at the end of your Facebook posts and emails, you should tell people what you want to do next. Sometimes it's not always possible. You don't want it in every Facebook post. The majority and as most and in your emails, yes. But sometimes in Facebook posts, you just have to see, okay, how can I do this? So what do I want you to do now? Again, this is a jam-packed training. So I want you to start creating your content. I want you to have a bank of content so that you can pre-plan your Facebook posts, you can create your emails, you can write guest blogs, you can always have that content there. I want you to capture email addresses at all opportunities. If you have a website, the first thing that you chat to your website designer about is linking your emails up to your MailChimp account. So your contact form up to your MailChimp account. And again, a reminder to follow the 10 non-negotiable rules of marketing from last week when you're creating content. That's all for video 1. I will see you shortly in video 2.